Welcome back to Last Stop Recovery. My name is Jay. My clean date is August
That's mine.
August 15th, 2017.
And I'm Chelsea. My clean day is February 13th, 2019.
Yeah. How you doing, Chelsea? This is take 2
We just recorded 47 minutes
and no sound.
with no sound.
With nothing.
Thankfully, my daughter is at school and my son is at therapy, and
Yeah.
we have more time today than we've
Yeah.
had the whole time we've been recording.
So we have time to record a whole nother episode. We
Yes.
could post a mime episode. In fact, I think that'd be kind of funny to do. We just dub over.
You guys guess what we're saying.
Yeah. Fill in the blanks there. Oh my God.
Yeah, so we read some Reddit posts.
And we talked about how tired we were. Like the fact that I have been walking to the gym the past few days.
And how many miles is that?
It's a
Oh.
lot.
So sorry. That's just nicotine.
It's
And I forgot what I was doing for a
yeah,
second.
whatever.
Mm.
It turns into about 3.5 miles. No, 4 miles there and back. So
So it's like 8,000 steps.
yeah,
That's good for you.
it's a really good walk, and then a good workout there at the gym, and then
Are you just lifting at the gym?
yeah, because getting the cardio before and after. So, man,
So I know.
it's so disappointing.
Yeah, so I'm really proud of you for doing that.
Yeah.
Exercise it's kind of like a new diet. It's hard to incorporate it into your schedule, even if your schedule is wide open. But it
Much
gives
like
you
Yeah,
something to do, and I think it makes you feel more useful for the day, which I think
Oh, yeah.
is super important for you and most people right
Yeah.
now, to
Yeah.
feel like you accomplished something every day.
accomplishing something in a day is a really good thing. It's not always easy to do. In fact, I know I kind of go in and out of working out and all that, but that's the biggest thing about it is it's not easy. It's not easy to go to the gym, whether you walk or drive there.
It's so much easier to make an excuse not to.
Way easier. But what if a TV show comes on while I'm there and then I never see it again?
I used to say that about meetings and getting
Yeah.
sober. I'd be like, but what if I miss?
But what if I miss
I'm in FOMO. What if I miss anything?
anything while I'm here?
Yeah. So I think exercise is one of those things that's super hard to get into, and it's hard to stay consistent with. I have struggled with consistency probably all the time I've been sober when it comes to working out. And is it telling you to stand up? You need to stand up?
No.
We can stand up and do star jump and then sit back down.
No. I'll just shake my watch around a little bit and
I want to stand up right now.
fool it.
Yeah, I struggled in the last 2.5 years. I've been the most consistent with working out, and now I don't feel good unless I work out. So
Yeah.
it's like a different type of my addiction went to the other end.
Yeah, I had gotten to that point like recently. I just came off of like a couple week break from the gym because it was like I had hurt my shoulder, or my chest, or my shoulder, because it's like sometimes whenever you bench a little heavier than you're typically benching, it's like you're like, I don't know, my body kind of goes into that, get a little higher up, or so I go into a bad form and then I get into my shoulder. But it's like I'm at a weight bench pressing now that it's like I never thought I'd be there.
Yeah, you've talked about it. I'm like, that's as much as a car.
It feels good.
My little body can't
Yeah.
bench that much.
But then I'm watching other YouTubes, and it's like, like I'm like, how do I get giant arms? And this guy's like, well, don't just lift heavy things with your arms. It's like, you got to pump blood into the arm. So I've been doing that, and now I'm super sore.
Same. I did curls yesterday. Too many of them. My little muscles are sore.
So sore.
But I am so small that like you can see my muscle definition a lot easier, but not in the places I want. Like not in my legs, but like my arms look really strong.
Yeah.
So that's super fun. Yeah, so I'm proud of you for working out. I think it's been really good. I think you've been in a better headspace than you were in when we first started the podcast.
Yeah.
I think you're a little less lost than you were.
I feel like it. I think the only other thing that I need to start doing again is reading. I have a bunch of books that I bought, and I'm like, I should read those books. And even Wendy's told me, she's like, instead of getting up in the morning and watching YouTube, she's like, you should go back to reading, because she's like, you were just, when you would read, you were sharper. I'm like, okay, all right. So
Not sharp.
I don't feel like it. No.
I love reading. I've talked about it. I'm such a bookworm.
Yeah.
Most people do not get that. I don't know what the vibe is they get from me, but bookworm ain't it. I just think I have always I was never a reader until Harry Potter came out. And it's just, I feel like J.K. Rowling created an imagination for me. Like I didn't really have much of one before.
Right.
And I love, it's an escape thing. I love going into a different world and living inside of it. But a fun way, if you're trying to get reinvigorated in reading, is when I've gotten out of the flow, you watch a lot of shows and movies.
Yep.
Read a book of like a show, like a series you've seen or a movie you've seen. And it kind of just gets you, I don't know, like it kickstarts.
It's funny that you talk about that too, because like I like this author. I've read one of his books, and it was turned into a movie. And I have another one of his books, Jason Paragon.
Oh.
He wrote the book John Dies at the End.
Yes.
And then they made that a movie, and the movie was really cool too.
Yeah.
It was like, and I read that book. I've seen the movie, and now I've got another one of his books. He's I follow him on TikTok, and he's plugging his new book. But he is such a neat creator, because he's like, and it's kind of funny that we're doing this podcast, because he's like, he says that he has friends that talk about writing a book or whatever, and he's like, don't quit your day job. And I'm like, I got fired from mine, so I'm just gonna do it.
I'm one step ahead.
Yes, take that, Jason.
And follow us.
And follow me. That'd be great. That would be so awesome. Push this, bro. But no, I have been lately trying to follow advice that I've been given.
Yeah.
Walking and all that, and I think my wife's a pretty smart person, and
You are lucky to have her.
she feels like I don't follow her advice a lot. So maybe I should just be like, I'm gonna get up and read.
I mean, she's been right about most things.
Way right. I mean, she got me. That poor woman.
I don't know, that's a positive or a negative. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No.
No, she fucking adores you. That's why she puts up with you.
Yeah.
But she does have really good advice.
She does.
She's one of my best friends, and I think she has great advice. She's very wise, and I don't know why she likes to hang out with us.
I don't know either.
Except for the comical relief.
Yeah. Although I can tell you that she has to put up with it way more
Yeah.
from me, and it's like, there's a lot of times where it's like, oh, I gotta be serious.
Like when we made our TikTok and I had to walk out of a pool and look
Right.
serious.
Yeah.
It did not go well for
It
me.
did not go well.
Did not. Because I don't know how to be serious nor walk like a supermodel, or in water, we found out, because I almost fell over.
Walking in water is hard. Yeah.
You did it much better. You had such a glow up in our TikTok. You do not have a bad take on your phone.
That's a good point, yeah.
How many bad takes do I have on your phone?
Like 3, yeah. But that's funny. I mean...
Yeah, I posted one of them. Or we posted one of them.
Yeah.
When I almost fell.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the TikTok has got a lot of views. A lot of people like it.
I think, yeah.
We will try to keep doing that. We were directed by a 12 and a 13-year-old.
Yep.
Those were our directors. They had a great time doing it.
Yeah, because so far that one has done very well. And the TikToks that I've been doing are,
Yeah. Sex sells.
True. Yeah.
I mean, that's a TikTok.
Hey.
Next, we're going to do a dance.
I think it'd be great if we did the, I don't know, is that the Wednesday dance?
Ask Jeannie.
I don't know.
Jay has a little niece, and the first time I met her, she told me to call her Wednesday. She's 4.
Yeah.
She said, what did she say? Her step name is Wednesday.
She
It was the most precious thing.
Yeah. She is very, like, this whole, like, the family dynamic thing is such an interesting thing to her, you know, because she's my sister and brother-in-law's biological child,
Yes.
and then her sister is her biological sister.
Half sister, right?
No, that's her sister. Well, I guess
They don't have the same dad.
they don't have the same dad, so yeah, half sister. So, but like when my brother-in-law did the whole adoption thing for my niece, for my sister's older daughter,
Yeah.
it was like, you know, Jeannie's young and impressionable, and she's like, when am I going to be adopted?
I would like to be adopted now.
Yeah.
I would like a new mama and papa.
Please adopt me, Mom and Dad.
She said that at the pool.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, I'm like, it doesn't work that way. But
I can't adopt you,
yeah,
actually.
just the mind of a child is pretty cool, pretty neat. You know, the way they think about stuff is just.
I like you. I like your vibe. I'll go home with you.
Yeah.
You will be mine.
Yeah, I'll just hang out with you, and it's like, yeah, no. They've told me that before too. They're like, I wish we could just live here. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you've got it good where you're at. So,
Your mom and daddy love you so much.
yeah. My oldest niece has a cell phone, and she's like, would you check my phone? I'm like, I wouldn't have to. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't have one. Like, are you crazy? Like,
I'd take it away.
yeah, you're like, no, you just wouldn't have one. Like,
I was checking her phone for her when she was in the pool.
Yeah.
Your niece, it's so funny. My daughter may look a lot like me. She has much more of Gabe's personality. And your niece reminds me exactly of me when I was in 7th grade.
Yeah.
Like, to a T.
Hmm.
So, it's funny to watch her and Kai hang out because Kai is so different than that. Like, she's not boy crazy, and she's very much like, I'm gonna make comic books when I grow up and be in a band.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, she was born with that cool factor, and I was like, I'm gonna date Justin Timberlake when I was in 7th grade.
Hmm.
And Monica has that
Yeah.
Beeps vibe. Is that a thing? I just might have made that up.
I don't know. I don't think girls are all about Bieber anymore.
Could be because.
Well, he's like old now.
I don't know any of the new.
I don't know either.
We'll ask. We'll
Yeah.
ask because they're the ones that are in.
I know Skibbity Toilet is something.
Oh my gosh. I had to be explained
Yeah.
this skibbity toilet riz. I don't know what any of that means.
Those would make sense, but like, what the hell's the deal with Ohio? Like, what is that?
Ohio's getting a lot of. Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
I have no clue.
Oh, see, I don't even remember what Monica told me about
See,
the Riz thing.
When I was a younger lad, I used to I used to
Young
be,
chap.
I used to be very into like dark and screamo music, and I used to listen to the song by Hawthorne Heights, like
I was just gonna say.
yeah, Ohio's for
Ohio's
Lovers.
for Lovers.
Yeah, and it was doo-doo-doo-doo. I'm like,
Every middle-aged person will
what?
know.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
We could just start playing some of that music.
I am like thinking of the day, like, what am I gonna do when I hear that song in the grocery store?
Oh, you haven't yet?
Not yet.
You haven't heard our music? Be like, and here's some throwback.
You know what's crazy?
playlists.
I've heard some of the, like, I think I heard Island in the Sun in a grocery store one time, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, wow, I remember. when that
I
came out.
heard Make Damn Sure
Ooh, yeah.
at Spencer's when I was getting a Beetlejuice shirt. And I was like, and then it said, like, throwback. And I was like,
Yeah.
Throwback? This just came out. And then I looked it up,
What?
and I was like,
Yeah.
2003.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh. So I was like 10th grader.
That's 23 years ago.
That's so much
Yeah.
more depressing
Oh
that you
my
said
gosh.
that out loud.
Yeah,
Is that math right?
I think so. 21 years ago, whatever.
That's still so depressing.
That's a long time. Yeah. It's really weird to think about. There's these things that, like, happen in my lifetime, and now they're old. Because, like, I was talking about a movie, and I'm like, that movie just came out. Like, and it's like, no, that movie's like 10 years old. I can't remember what movie it was, but it's like, oh shit, that movie's 10 freaking years old. Like, I think the first Deadpool came out in 2012.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think I looked that up when I saw the new one, and I was like, geez, Kai was 1.
Yeah. It's
and,
like that.
And I was 23.
Yeah. So you're telling me freaking 12 years ago? Like, is that right? 20?
24. I was 24.
Wow.
I don't know how old I don't
Yeah.
know how old I am now.
It's just freaking nuts.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Gabe's 20-year high school reunion is this year.
Oh my
And
god.
I'm like, that feels insane that it's been 20 years.
Yeah.
Even though I'm only 3 years behind him in school. But, yeah. What did we talk about? We talked about grocery stores.
We
Because
did.
I was talking about, you were talking about how driving sometimes brings out a
Right.
not so nice side of you.
Yeah.
And I talked about going to the grocery store and how I turn into Lightning McQueen with my cart when
Yeah.
people are taking too long to pick out tortillas.
And I just get very anxious. Because, yeah.
And you know what's so weird is, like, our generation, a lot of us hate going to the grocery because it gives us anxiety, and we used to get drunk in the Mesa with random strangers,
Yeah.
and that was not scary. And now we can't go to grocery stores
No.
without having anxiety attack.
Yeah. Without, like, doing the, all right, it's going to be okay. There.
Yeah. Like, I used to go across town to
Mhm.
party not knowing a single human being at the party.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, but is there alcohol and drugs?
But I'll be getting schmammered there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's just an interesting part of, like, I don't know where all the anxiety came from, because I most certainly did not have it back then.
I don't know either, but the other thing I think is, like, I know we had said that the store down, that I had gone to Sunday,
Yes.
and the reason that it was like super anxiety inducing was that they were doing their little, like, while we're open stocking thing, and it was just like they have all their little carts out and all the new food and all the other stuff, and they're like, so the employees are all out in the way, and then for whatever reason it's Sunday, so people need to go pick up a bunch of food for the week, and then it's just like,
We went on a Sunday.
yeah,
This rule
so
of thumb, never.
go on Sunday.
Never.
Yeah.
Every mom in this town has to go to the store on Sunday.
Yeah.
I've made videos on it. For some reason, my family does this super fun thing that I get groceries, and then they want a new recipe, and so then I go get the ingredients for that recipe, and then one of my children will need something, like not a want, but a need, and I'll have to go back, and then I'll come back home, and then someone the other kid will want another thing. So I go to the grocery store like 3 or 4 times in a day.
Fuck that.
And I don't know why that's the cycle in my home, because even by the 4th time coming home, someone will have thought of a new thing that they're like, oh, you know what I should have told you to get?
Yeah, I know I have this phone in my hand. Could have told you while you were there.
That they're busy.
Yeah.
Because being a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old is, you're just so busy all the time.
I think if I went to the grocery store 4 times in a month, I might consider not going back.
I will never be back here again.
Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you later.
Well, when COVID happened, they did delivery groceries. Did you guys ever do that?
You know what? We haven't done that. And it's like, I tell people about this anxiety I have over going to the grocery store, and they're like, well, why don't you just do like...
Yeah, you don't even have to pick it up. You can get it delivered to your front door.
Yeah.
I did that till 2022. And then I was like, so the pandemic is over, and I am still having my groceries delivered to my front door.
Grocery store, when it opened during the pandemic, they had like the little lines, like you go this way, and it's like you're only going one way down the aisle.
Yeah.
And it's like...
We've talked about it. Pandemic times were the best of times.
That was
because
so...
no one was out.
That was so nice.
And I hated the masks.
Yeah.
I didn't like the masks.
I didn't like the
but
masks
I loved the fact that everywhere was empty.
I would trade the... I would don a mask again if we could go back to the stores being the way they were during the pandemic.
You're just really thriving. The roads were empty.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is why it blows me away that some people think that there's a decline in population. It's like, there are too many people.
Come to our town.
Yeah.
Because you can't get anywhere.
I feel like there are more people now. And it's like, I'm tired of it. There's enough.
Please go home.
Stop it.
Please go.
Yeah.
I say that sometimes when I'm out and about, when I have 400 places to go. Like, why is everyone else adulting right now? Go back to your house, because I need to get to where I need to go. And that's another thing that even little things that I struggle with. Like, I would like to control what you're doing to make my life more convenient for me. I keep thinking I have the microphone on and I don't.
No, we're going raw on this one because, like, I don't know what happened to the microphones today, but they're not working.
Yeah. So yeah, that's I just find that interesting that the shit that I used to do as a teenager that did not faze me at all.
Right.
That was so terrifying to think about.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in the heights. I grew up way up in the mountains, and I'd go to parties down here. I didn't even know what these streets were called back then.
Well, shit, back then there wasn't hardly any streets down here.
Yeah, but I'd still go because it was a house.
Because in the last 20 years, this fucking town has just boomed, you know?
We are exploding.
Yeah. Yep, everybody from everywhere is moving here, and it's...
To our sandbox.
Yeah, and I want to leave. I want to go somewhere...
You've done that. It's because you stepped on the goat heads.
Yep.
And the venom is inside
you. Yeah,
the
goat head venom is inside me, and I can't leave now. I'm drawn.
You're stuck?
I must
You also
stay.
just bought a house.
Right.
So I feel like you made choices that you're not going to leave.
Yeah.
Anytime soon.
No, probably not. But, okay.
Oh, my legs. We did find that out last time.
Your legs, though.
So sorry. I won't put my legs
All right. So we are also not going to mention a certain group because somebody recommended that it's a good idea to stop mentioning them. But we are going to do this one here. So this is off of Reddit. What made you quit going to meetings? This person says they're 52 days sober and in meetings. I'm doing great. And for the first time in my life, I'm happy. I think the steps are fantastic, but the only people that seem to be years sober are preachy and have made their life meetings. That would be lovely if they seemed happy. If I took on their interpretation of meetings, I wouldn't go anymore. My interpretation is working, and I'm only improving. But it's hard to voice it to the cult. The 10% of meetings. What happened to the rest of you? Who continued the sober journey and what made you leave meetings? Maybe I can be the influence in meetings and maybe get more people sober and Larry.
We don't know what the and Larry
Yeah, I
means,
don't know
but
what the
we're
Larry
thinking
means.
that it's just being sarcastic.
Right. And Larry. But
Unless there's a Larry.
I think we should end every sentence with that. And Larry. No.
No.
So, I don't think this person's right or wrong. Uh,
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier. So, what's your take on it? What were you like at 52 days in?
well, 52 days, I didn't know shit.
Yeah.
And I had really no clue what was going to happen. And the only thing that I could think was uh, all my other decisions got me here. So maybe I should listen to somebody or someone in these fucking meetings. But I also did know, like, or I did have that thought, like, this is bullshit. And what the hell do I need this for?
When I wasn't done researching, like clearly wasn't done researching, I found a lot of faults in
Yep.
dating. And I looked for things I could disagree with rather than trying to find common ground with the things that they were saying. I also wanted to rewrite the book.
Yep.
I wanted to rewrite all the parts of the book, and
Yeah.
I made it a lot harder for myself. And it's interesting, when I relapsed and I came back in, everything that I wanted to argue against, I just didn't care anymore. I didn't care what I had to do to get sober and stay sober, and I didn't care if I agreed with how you did it or not. And I
Yeah.
didn't care if, like, a lot of our book in general is written from a male perspective. I mean, there's definitely female parts included,
Right.
and I'd never struggled with the God concept, but I did struggle with a lot of the things that are talked about. I think are what men struggle with in sobriety, and I
Yeah.
firmly believe that women drink and become addicted for much different reasons.
Yeah. Well, and I know, like, in the literature that we read, it talks about, it has this whole chapter dedicated to, and I think that's the biggest, the where I feel, as a man, I wonder if this is where women who read this kind of stumble upon, because it's like all these things that a woman or a wife of an alcoholic should do to, like, protect this alcoholic man. And it's like I see where it's like, yep, I can see where that's a part that needs to be, like, or that could feel like, fuck that, that's bullshit. How many times are we going to protect these, like, weak little feet? Oh, don't talk to them like that, because they're sick little alcoholic men. Like,
And I do think it was a different time when
Yeah,
it was written.
absolutely.
There was way more women at home
Yeah.
protecting those little alcoholic
Oh, this
men.
poor little man.
But meanwhile, they had a bottle of brandy in the laundry basket.
Right. Yeah.
Because dealing with somebody in addiction, when you're married to an addict, a lot of times will bleed over into you. Taking care of other people comes more naturally, typically, to women.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is at detriment to yourself. I personally have drained myself taking care of other people
Yeah.
in addiction and in sobriety.
Sobriety.
And I used to, a lot of my drinking, if I haven't made it clear, it's funner to say that it was just fun for me and I like to drink alcohol. The truth is, I was in so much pain, I needed to numb the fact that at the end of every day, there was nothing left over for me. Ever.
Yeah.
And that was expected of me indefinitely the next day when I
Right.
woke up. And
Yeah.
there was no end to the expectations that were put on me. And I was drowning
Yeah.
in those expectations. Taking care of everybody else except myself. But then also having the expectation to be like, have, you know, a happy husband, have happy kids that aren't autistic, have a clean house, like, have the Facebook life Martha Stewart living that
Yeah.
everybody wants. And that just wasn't my story, no matter how hard I tried. And the harder I tried, the deeper I sunk into all of my failures that I saw as failures.
Yeah.
Because I believed all the bullshit that was out there. I believed all the Facebook posts. I believed the perfectly curated lives that people present to society, and my life just didn't look like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to deal with that failure.
It's such a hard thing too, because it's like, yeah, 52 days is a really hard way to say, like, I know better, I'm gonna leave because everybody in here is preaching and they're not happy. And it's like, I know a lot of the people, I know we see a lot of people that are in there that are like 30 years sober and don't
Yeah.
seem happy and don't work the program. But there is also that, like, it's so fresh, and yeah, whenever it's, you know, I'm supposed to be this happy person, and even in sobriety, it's like, you know, I felt like that after, you know, after that first year. I got really, really, really down after the first year of sobriety, because, you know, it was like, yeah, 52 days, I was really hopeful. You know, I was like, I feel good. I felt like that too. Like, you know,
That's still pink clouds.
yeah, I would
right?
work better. You know,
Yeah.
I'm funnier. I'm happier.
I can think
Yeah,
better.
you know, I feel like I can breathe. You know, my brain is working.
Yes.
But then that year hit, and I was for sure that finally, you know, this lifelong dealing with like depression, and, you know, worried about why I felt so inadequate. These, you know, these inadequacies just kept dogging me, and it was like, I'm gonna feel really good at a year. Like, a year of sobriety is just gonna, it's like gonna kick in. It's gonna be this big change, and it just was not that. It was like, here's your coin. See you tomorrow.
Oh, I got that same.
Yeah.
Or I got the. It was, and it. This person has said this to me every year that I've gone through. They're like, it's a good start.
Ah,
God, and I just
Ah.
wanted to blow things up.
Yeah.
But I definitely thought I hyped myself up a lot for that first year, like something really major was gonna happen, and then it didn't.
Yeah.
And it was a really far fall for how much I hyped it up, because there was like a lot of undeniable things, like I could think better. I don't know if I was funnier, but people were laughing at my shit in meetings a lot more.
Yeah. I had color in my skin.
Yeah, I was doing more.
Yeah.
Like, I was able to achieve my to-do list every day. But that little rain cloud, I could not outrun inside of my head. And like, by my first year, I completed the steps in my first year.
Yeah.
And so then I was very much faced with, I'm done with my step work, but I still don't feel the way that I thought I should.
Yeah. I'm done with the steps. I've read all the shit. I've read extra shit. Where's my happy?
Yeah, and somebody told me, and they were like very straightforward, because they're very straightforward old timer. They're like, your step work doesn't stop, so
Yeah.
stop thinking
Yeah.
that. If you aren't happy yet, keep going.
Yeah.
And I
gotta
was
keep
like, what do
doing
you
it.
mean? Like, just start over? And they literally were like, obviously that's what I mean. And I was like, that's the worst news I've heard all day.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So I was like, from step one, they're like, you probably don't need to start at step one again. That's an obvious.
And
So the maintenance of my
Yeah.
recovery program is a day in, day out.
every day.
Yeah, it's
And at 52 days, that's really fucking bold to be like, these people don't seem happy. And it's like, well, when are you seeing when are you seeing this person? Like, are they not happy, or have they seen you and you've wiped the smile off their face? Because that was another thing that I had to realize. Like, I used to, like, for a long time there in the meetings, I was just so like, I would get so like resentful at people in there, and it's like, I wonder why that person isn't happy. And it's like, because I'm an asshole to be around. And it's like, I wouldn't want to be around a straight up prick anytime, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, are they not happy, or are they just indifferent to you?
I used to point out in meetings, and I don't know why this is, but like people would have a share, and I would think it was directed at me.
Ooh,
And I would take it personal, and I would just like let it grow inside of me, and I would think this person had this like massive resentment against me. Meanwhile, that share was not even about me. That was about their like uncle's niece. Like
Right.
It was someone, and I had to learn that like that was part of my selfishness. That
Yeah.
like I thought really negative things, not the good things, never the good things, but all the
Right.
negative things were about me.
Is it hard to think, like, I know you play video games and stuff like that. Is it hard to imagine yourself walking through life and being like, maybe I'm actually an NPC?
Oh, like
Like
this is a
like
simulation?
I am not the main character. I am just
Oh yeah, I'm definitely a
Yeah.
backup character.
like, it's just like
Look at my life.
Yeah,
I'm
this-
in no way the main character.
this whole time, you know, like, all walking around through my life, I'm like, I'm focused on me, so everybody else is focused on me.
I
And
am
it's
the
like,
supporting cast.
I'm the guy that, like, I am bellhop number 2, you know, like.
I'm hair and makeup.
I'm
not even there.
lucky I got credited, but, you know,
Some guy we found on the street.
yeah, nobody, like, I'm not in the poster. Nobody's excited to see me in this fucking movie, but hey, I'm there. But is it just one of those things, like, because all of my life I felt like I have focused so much on me, and I feel like the focus has been on me.
See, and that's what I mean by like, I think a lot of men think that, and
Yeah.
I think women feel the exact opposite.
Like, there's no
Like,
focus.
No focus.
Oh god.
And when there is focus, I would like it to be the fuck away from me.
Right. Yeah.
Like, very much. I still look at the ground. So many people get excited to see us at meetings. Like, you individually, me individually. I stare at the ground every time I walk into a meeting to this day.
Yeah.
I stare at the ground while I'm sharing, even though I know almost every person typically in the meeting
Yeah.
and have cried, laughed, said things out loud that I've never said to another human,
Yeah.
like, ever, and I still stare at the ground.
I've done the same thing, and it's like, I've cried, I've shared very personal stuff,
Yeah.
and I still get weirded out when anybody in there wants to hug me.
Oh my gosh, I've done that to you.
Ugh.
Because there's so much hugging.
So much
There's
hugging.
kissing too.
Oh my god, I don't think I could do it. No.
Yeah,
Like,
there-
if like an old timer like kissed me or something, I'd be like, ah, like, don't, no.
somebody do it.
No.
Yeah, there's so much lovey-doveyness, and like that's the thing is like I've never met more supportive people that just want you to succeed. Like they legit do. They want you to succeed almost more than they
Yeah.
want themselves to succeed.
And genuinely don't really get offended whenever you, like, are kind of off-putting or whatever, because, you know, I there's a couple of people who I just didn't like, and for whatever reason they kept, hi Jay, how are you?
They kept
Like,
putting that
and
effort
it's like,
in.
okay, fine, I'll just be nice back. And it's like, it cost me nothing, you know? And
It
it's
is
like,
so hard for me to be nice.
God. But then as soon as I did it, it was like, well, that was way easier than driving over here going, God, I hope that person's not there, or please let them not notice me or something. It's like I am 6'4" and a pretty big dude. It's hard to not to go unnoticed, you know.
Yeah, I've never not noticed you in a meeting.
It's true.
I try to go incognito, and
Yeah.
I've tried always wearing pajamas, no makeup, my glasses on. I've tried everything, and they still know it's me.
You did the old Clark Kent.
You can't tell. Well, I wear glasses, and a lot of people don't see me in them. And in my mind, obviously, yes.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
like, you won't know it's me in my glasses. It didn't work.
yeah. No.
Didn't work, and I'm sad about that.
Well,
It's fine though. I haven't been to a meeting in 2 weeks, and I feel now that we have done a whole episode and now another episode.
Right.
Now I am starting to feel like I'm crazier than I
yeah,
thought.
it's like
And that's the thing about meetings is 52 days in, when I wasn't ready to actually get sober and I wasn't being honest with myself,
Yeah.
I found a lot of issues with the people. I found a lot of issues with the readings. I found a lot of issues with anything I could, because the issue really was I wasn't ready and I did not want to do the work that they were talking about. And I knew that deep down, I knew I needed to. I knew I couldn't just stop drinking.
and
That was
honestly,
enough.
there's a lot of there's a lot of reasons why people are preachy about some of that literature, and you'll hear it in the meetings if you listen to it. Is they honestly believe that these programs save their life, and even in the book that we read in the back, there is a really good explanation to this person, and it's contempt prior to investigation.
Yep.
And it's like, you know, if you really want that, that is the best weapon against any of this stuff, is learn more about it. You know,
Yeah.
Don't run away from it. You know,
And we've been to thousands of meetings.
yeah,
As all meetings, you will hear something you need to hear, but that is not to say all meetings are good meetings.
right.
You have got to find the size that fits you, and like you have to find your people. And there's a vibe in each meeting. Find your vibe.
Not all meetings are good meetings, but I've never been to a bad one.
I've never been to a bad meeting,
Yeah.
but there's definitely been some meetings that when a newcomer is there, like in their first few days,
Oh God.
I cringe at the fact that they're experiencing.
Well, sometimes it's like even in the shares are like, and you're the most important person in here. Like, bro, take your fucking eyes off of me, man. Like, that's
Yeah.
the way I felt whenever I first came in, and it's like, you know, and I think that's another thing about people that get a lot of time, is they kind of forget what it was like at first.
I like to stare at people's feet because I did not like being pointed out, because I felt like I don't enjoy attention, which is weird doing a podcast.
Yeah,
Because
we can't see the attention.
I don't really like attention.
Yeah.
Jay is our glow up baby.
I don't mind it.
So especially with the women, I think that they're different part uncomfortable, because some men are very nice, and it is very uncomfortable when you're in the vulnerable state of
Yeah.
admitting you have a problem with alcohol, and your life may or may not be a total shit show. Also, it's
Yeah.
like you just don't want that spotlight. So the safest place for my eyes to be is typically somebody's feet.
Well, so yeah, at 52 days in, if I could tell this person anything, and it wouldn't matter because they're not going to listen.
They don't know us.
They don't know us. But typically that's how it works, is advice, I don't know, it's like it takes time to seep in. It's like water going into the concrete.
Time takes time.
Time takes time.
God, I hated that so hard and I didn't even understand it. Time takes time. More will be revealed
But time does take time.
Yeah, I know less now. I was such a know-it-all, if I'm
Yeah.
being honest, when I got into the meetings. I thought I knew everything. But I was defeated, was the problem.
Yeah.
I thought I knew everything, but I was defeated.
And I know exactly how this person feels at 52 days.
Yeah.
Because I felt that. I, at 52 days, just wanted to skip to the end. I just wanted to have that year because I knew at that year everything was going to be better. But I've had to go through all 7 years of my sobriety.
I wanted the cliff notes.
Yeah, just
to sobriety.
Yeah,
I was like, can we just like, is there a TikTok I could watch?
yeah. Give me a rundown, like quick little.
Bro, let's. And that. Stop. Don't listen to that. Yeah, and there's no. That's why time takes time. There's no fast way through recovery, and it's a lifelong journey. So it's not like a diet. This is not a fad diet, like, or when people like go to rehab to just like kind of clean up their life and come out and they're like, I'm good to go now.
Because, unfortunately, for this person at 52 days, when they inevitably leave and spend a couple more weeks sober and inevitably get drunk again, these stupid little sayings from these thumpers that preached everything to them are just gonna
ruin every drunk.
Ruin every little drunk or every little drink or every little fun time, and they're gonna be like, "Why this is even more miserable than the 52 days that I thought were miserable being sober."
And then you might be ready.
Maybe. You might need
I
to
hope
get.
for you that you're ready.
Might need to get 80 days and then get pissed off and then try again. But I really hope this person finds what they're looking for, because if it's just that meeting that these preachy long toothers are at, hey, there's other meetings.
Yeah, and there's like Zoom meetings now. Like so much opened up during the pandemic. Like you could go to a meeting in like downtown LA from your computer. You could go experience completely new cultures. Go to Australia, like go to Italy. Well, I don't speak Italian, but I mean, just like look, all of this is just investing in yourself, and I think most alcoholics and addicts struggle with that. It's very uncomfortable. It's a lot easier to numb and run than to face.
I still say my worst day in sobriety is way better than even the best day I ever had drinking.
Oh, easily. Because the best day I had drinking was followed by like a week of feeling like death.
Yeah.
And other consequences.
And a lot of other consequences, yeah.
But yeah, you wanted to talk about too, people that get bored.
Yeah.
People that are drinking, like they get sober and then they realize that they're bored without drinking, so they go back to drinking. Wait, what?
We are at 48 minutes. Yeah. We can talk about boredom on Friday.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Tune in.
boredom.
All right.
Lack thereof boredom.
We're going to end there because Chelsea has stuff to do.
I have kids to pick up, and this is our second episode that we've recorded.
So technically, we have like 90 minutes of fucking stuff here.
But one has no sound.
Yeah. This one has sound.
If we seem a little off this episode, we had a really good
It was
silent
really good.
episode.
God, you guys are gonna love it. If you ever get to see it, that's like vaults stuff.
Bullshit Patreon.
Yes. Maybe one of my smart devices was listening. I can get the sound off of that.
We'll see. We'll investigate.
We'll figure it out.
Thank you for tuning in, and I will hopefully upload this Wednesday, if not tomorrow. And then we'll see you on
So Thursday.
Thursday. And
Do we get these out Friday and Sunday? Or when do we put them out?
usually it's Wednesday and Sunday, or Thursday and Sunday.
Oh, well, we fucked this one up.
So sorry. We'll see you
See you in a couple days.
Sunday.